Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. And what we're going to be talking about today is it's now or never. And that we have to have a sense of urgency on the plans for our life, God's will for your life. There's no reason to wait for perfect conditions, the perfect scenario. Whatever the case may be, you need to be ready to put forth the effort into bringing about God's will, and also putting forth the effort, the work, the necessary hard work, because it's not going to be easy, in order to achieve your dreams, your goals, and your desires. But before we get into the message, I gotta tell you a testimony of something that just happened, and it really goes to show that God really does test us. I kid you not. I just started laughing as soon as it happened. But this morning, like I said, I usually do delivery runs and things of that nature, whatever I got to do to earn money, honestly, legally. And I had a particular delivery. I did that one, knocked it out, and then it was a slow period. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be productive. I'm going to get my son's appointment scheduled. I'm going to go ahead and get my oil changed in my car. I'm going to read my book, Think and Grow Rich. This is a really good book. And also just kind of relaxes. I was like, you know what? It can be slow. I see the schedule says nothing's really going to happen, but God always makes up the difference. All right. So then an order came in. It was like $65. And so immediately I clicked it, and I look at the address though. It says Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm like, well, I'm in Columbia. Obviously this is a mistake. I said, but I think this is a blessing in disguise. And another day I'm going to make a video about how to recognize a blessing when God really puts it in my spirit exactly what to say in that video. But I seem to come pretty good at recognizing when something doesn't seem right and how it shifts into a positive. But so I was like, okay, well, maybe they're in Charlotte and they're ordering something for a relative or something here, which does happen a lot, and maybe they just put the wrong address. So I said, let me go in here. It was only two things I had to grab. It was like two things. And so I walked in the store, grabbed the things, walked back out. I messaged the person while I was in the store saying, hey, can you confirm the address? Of course, they're not answering. I called the number that they have on files, going straight to voicemail. You know, people put fake numbers on there, I guess, whatever. And so I'm like, darn it. I was like, you know, well, hopefully I get a little something. I was like, this is $65. It's pretty easy. And, you know, whatever, you know. So I called delivery support. I was like, hey, you know, I think they put the wrong address on there. And you know, they're not answering, so I need you to go ahead and cancel it. So they're like, all right, just go ahead and return it, and we'll total it out for you. Now, I know this system very well. I could have easily lied and said that, hey, they put the wrong address on there, but I delivered it and got paid. But my heart, I can't do stuff like that, you know, because all it would take is for her to call and say, hey, I didn't get nothing. And then they kind of track everything, and then they kick me off the platform of how I really take care of this household. And so I did the right thing. I called them and said, hey, they obviously must have put the wrong address or whatever, and you know, I just need to get this canceled. And so they're like, okay, go ahead and return it. I returned it. I kid you not, they paid me for the whole order. I just busted out laughing. I said, I knew it was a blessing in disguise. I didn't know how it was going to be a blessing. But man, God made up the 2 hours of dead time that simple by me just walking in the store and walking out. And I'm trying to tell y'all that God tests you in so many ways to see if you're going to do the right thing when no one's looking. Because when you do the right thing, He usually blesses you for it. And He's going to entrust you with something amazing in the future, because He's going to know that I've tested him, I tested him, I tested her, and I trust that they're going to do the right thing no matter what. So I just had to let y'all know that, because I thought that was pretty amazing. It made up that money, and then of course everything kind of worked out. So, and now it's raining. We don't really do stuff while it's raining. Well, I'm not risking my life for anybody for stuff like that in this weather. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into the message. I just want to let you know God will provide. Don't ever freak out, especially if you're taking a leap of faith in life and you're really dependent on God to bring in revenue and things of that nature to take care of your household or whatever. He always provides. The word is 100% true. But what we're going to do is go straight into the Bible, where God talks about, you know, where there's a scenario in the Bible where it's basically illustrating It's now or never. Don't waste any time. So we're going to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 11. And I'm going to actually read verse 1 all the way down to verse 4. But the main verse I'm going to highlight is verse 4. All right, so it says, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Give a portion to 7 or 8, or even to 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth. And if a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. Now, verse 4, he who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. So it's basically saying, if you're just watching the clouds hoping that rain is going to come, you're not going to sow because you're waiting on the perfect conditions. Same thing. He who regards the clouds, which means considers the clouds, will not reap. And so, paraphrasing this to things that we can understand, if you wait for the perfect conditions, you will never get anything done. Earlier this week, I had my music projects lined up, and then I started noticing little corrections that I need to make, but I was like, well, I want to start releasing on Tuesday. I'm going to do every other day. And I really wanted all that I had put in place done before I started anything else, or before I even started releasing. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to grind it out, make the time, so that way I don't get caught up. But I'm going to go ahead and release anyway. And that's when it hit me. I had the faith and the desire that, you know what, somehow, some way, I'm going to make sure that I don't get caught up. Because as a producer, unless you just have the free time, meaning no responsibilities, nothing, it's very hard to release every day, and then especially if you have a kid, every other day. And so what I did was I prepared several projects ahead, so that way I don't get caught up. Now, thankfully, due to a divine connection, there's a gentleman that's really looking out for me with my food business, so he's lined a few people up for next week. So I got a catering event next week. Yay, money. And also just the opportunity to show off what I'm able to do, so that way they can use word of mouth to really push things forward. So again, I told y'all February, I feel like it's on the cusp of something really great, and February is not over. It's not over. And this is why it's important to not wait for the perfect conditions, to just go ahead and put forth the plan of action that you have, and just move forward in faith, knowing that God will somehow, some way, make a way. Whether it's time, whether he provides the resources, whatever you need, whatever the case may be, God usually will come through whatever way he wants. And this is why I'm really pressing that in this video, that if you have something that you're waiting to do because you're like, well, this might not be the right time, it might not be this, it might not be that, or I don't know, or maybe my skill isn't there, you might want to just start working towards it. You might want to just start doing exactly what you can do within your power, because that's when God starts to do what he does best, which is aid us. We go to the end of ourselves, we do the best we can, and that's where God comes in and says, I got your back. That's just what I've learned. I've got your back. And this is exactly why it says, he who observes the wind will not sow. Because if you're just sitting there, you know, like, well, I don't know, man, it doesn't look like it's going to rain. And then it says, and he who regards the clouds. So that means if you're considering the clouds, will not reap. Because if you're looking at the clouds and you say, well, they don't look too great today, I don't know if they got a lot of moisture in them or not, I don't know if it's going to rain, maybe let's sow tomorrow. And then same thing the next day, maybe let's sow the next day. We want to make sure that when we put forth the effort, that there's going to be rain behind it. We don't want to do it for no reason, and that's silly. Do the work now. Sow now. Sow now. So that way when the time is right, you will reap. And you won't be trying to play catch up, because now when you're supposed to be reaping, now you're utilizing that time doing exactly what you should have been doing. Don't be that person that procrastinates. Don't be that person that puts off what should have been done yesterday, and now you have to do it today. Now you're slowly starting to get behind. Because God, I'm telling you, He will allow certain things to happen to get your attention and to get you to start taking things more serious, especially when you're trying to pursue His will for your life, especially when you're trying to pursue goals and things of that nature. He will allow life to happen to you so that way you can understand why you shouldn't do these things. That's just what I've learned about God. If He has you in a situation, it's because you haven't learned the lesson that you're supposed to learn. So that's why He allows it to sit there. I'm going to let you sit in it. It's the same thing with the Israelites when they were supposed to go into the promised land. All they had to do was follow the instructions, but they were scared. They didn't just move forward, not realizing these giants couldn't fight. And they had to sit out there and meander for 40 years before they finally realized, you know what? We could do it. I'm just as strong when I was young than I am now. I could do it. And then they did it. This is why when the time is right, it's not the way to move forward in faith. If you have a plan and you say you're going to do something, now it's time to put it into action. Do it now. If you're like, well, I don't have all the supplies I'm supposed to have, or I don't have everything I'm supposed to have, nuh-uh. Just go forward in faith. Remember, faith without works is dead. Do the necessary work. Do everything that you know you're supposed to do. That way, your faith is built in God. God loves true believers that have faith in Him, because He loves to make them to be an example that we could be a testimony for others to see, which gives Him glory. God loves it. All I did earlier today was exhibit faith. I was like, you know what? God's going to make up the difference. I'm not worried about it being slow. He knows what we need. And He made it up that quick. It was literally instant. And sometimes God does that for us. Sometimes He does it fast. Sometimes He does it at a later time. But trust and believe, when you exhibit true, authentic faith, not you just saying, well, God, I know you're going to provide this and that, and in your downtime, you're freaking out. That's not faith. That's you're just putting on a show for everybody, or thinking that you're saying something that He wants you to hear, but then deep down, you don't really have peace of mind. I did not have any anxiety earlier. I didn't have my heart pounding. I didn't think about anything. I was reading this book and thinking about what I was going to talk about in this video. I prayed about it, and then that's when the testimony, the blessing happened. And sometimes we look at blessing like, well, it's just $65, man. Well, $65 in 3 minutes is pretty good. I don't care what anybody says. So all I'm trying to tell you is move forward in faith. Know that God will take care of you, because I kid you not, I do some of these deliveries and it breaks my heart to see how some people are living. They live in decent areas, but then when they open their door and there's nothing in there, no furniture, no nothing, the TV's on the floor, they have kids, the kids don't have haircuts and things of that nature. It breaks my heart, but it also gives me the ability to look back and say, well, think, man, you were just at the gym yesterday talking to a physician that says that he wish he could be financially independent, that he hates the schedule that he has. He says, I barely get to go to the gym. He says, but you say that you get to go to the gym every other day because you work for yourself. And then I had to really think about that it truly is a blessing to be able to be financially independent, to make your own schedule, to have a roof over your head, and have everything that you need in there. Furniture. Your son is content. He's got plenty of stuff. I got stuff. I mean, it's a blessing. And I'm like, you know what? I got to really soak in this particular time period in life, because I know the future is going to be bright. I just know it. I know who I am. And I am an achiever. I am a person that takes calculated risk. I'm a person that truly believes that this Bible is here to help us, and I believe in everything that it says. I believe in the stories. I believe in the God that we serve, and He's proven time and time and time and time again that I can trust him. And that's the only reason I'm doing these YouTube videos, because I'm like, people got to know that we serve a God that really will do the same thing he does for me for you. And that's exactly what the name is. God will do it for you. He will do it for you. Because he will. Don't think, oh, well, he's special, or she's special, or he's doing for them this and that. You don't know what they've been through, one. Two, you don't know what they're currently going through. People are really good at pretending. But the one thing I've learned is by me being transparent and letting you know. And one day when this page blows up, one day when my life takes off, people will be able to look back at these videos, and if they watch them in chronological order, they will see the process of how God is using adversity. He's testing me, how he's giving me blessings, how he's helped get the food business legal, how he's helped me get my son, how he's used bad situations and turned them not only good but even better. That phone situation that I had last year, July, I haven't paid a phone bill since. I'm trying to tell you how I helped somebody out of the goodness of my heart, and I got almost dead end, and God not only turned it around, but then the phone company was like, hey, we're gonna pay your bill for half a year. You can't tell me there isn't a God. God will show you something. He will allow you to experience the goodness of him. If you truly believe, you got to believe. You got to move forward and believe in a way that people are like, wow, I can see God in his life or her life. And that's what God wants. He wants us to be a spitting image of him. And that's why he puts you through the fire. That's why he puts you through the trials and tribulations. And those people, I see it online, and sometimes people be like, well, why is he allowing this and that? Why is he allowing this and that? You know, if God, why did that plane crash happen, or this and that? One, God gives us free will. So human error and things of that nature, hey, but trust me, he has the power to do whatever he wants. You know, God is a God of war, but he's also a good God. He's also a good God. Think, he gave the Midianites over to Gideon. He said, I will hand them to you. So that means he will allow you victory, which includes death. He's got nothing to do with that, but he understands that sometimes things have to be done. Think, Saul and his child got killed in that battle. But he needed that to happen so that David could get in, because Saul was messing up. And he was like, I'm not going to allow David's path to be slowed down. David didn't have to do anything. So again, we have to make sure that we truly understand what we're dealing with. This is not a regular person. This is a creator. All-powerful, all-knowing God that can do anything he wants. He can prevent an accident from happening to you, or he can allow it to happen. That's how powerful he is. He's like, I could let your life be taken, or I can save it. That's scary. And that's why the only person you should fear is God, because he has that much power. But just know that if he has that much power to take it, he has that much power to give you a life that you never thought that you could ever experience in your life. And for me, now, especially reading this book, it's possible. Not only is it possible, I know I'm going to experience it. I know that I'm going to be able to show my son that if you really, truly believe in God, and if you bust your butt, if you stay the course, if you believe in yourself, if you don't worry about the naysayers, if you don't worry about what society looks at you as, if you just believe in yourself and do the right thing, take the high road sometimes even if you don't want to, if you do what you're supposed to do, if you move forward with a heart full of pure intentions, God will do something very special for you, because he knows at that point I can use you to lead people to me. So, hope this video's been a blessing. If you feel like to like, share, subscribe, definitely do so. I really look forward to just letting you all know as things go along what's happening. Like I said, if the catering event happens, the one thing God has taught me is, hey, you don't get excited until the money hits the account. And then that's just in life too. So yeah, they say they're on board, this and that. If they are great, it's a good chunk of money. And so I'm happy it's double than what the last one I did paid. So I want that money. But at the same time, I'm gonna just let God handle it. And hey, I would love to take care of him. Otherwise, my music is already in place. we getting ready to go. And honestly, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm getting ready to get back on the computer. So again, if you feel it, like, share, subscribe, definitely do so. Comment, leave your own personal experiences, whatever y'all want to do. But just know that one day y'all are going to check this channel and it's going to take off. And guess what? The best part is everything that the channel is going to earn is going to go back to helping people. 100% of it. 100%. And there's no one doing that. Nobody's doing that. So, hope this video's been a blessing. Again, have a great day.